Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves with a little tarot. Now, you have clicked on this thing, you're hearing my voice, it is now your reading. It is activated. This is a timeless reading that is recorded on December 8th, 2025. It is just kind of floating out there until you engage with it. And then, the message that wants to find you, it will. So, we begin today with the 10 of Wands. Do you know what that means? Usually, the energy that comes along with this is one that is quite full. It is so full that it almost feels oppressive. It's like when you finally get to eat that thing that you have been dreaming about and it's plentiful, you have so much of it. You don't have to stop when you're, starting to feel, maybe I'm at my limit here. But it's so good. So you keep going and then suddenly, you feel that discomfort, that, what did I do? What was I thinking? And this is kind of the energy of the 10 of Wands. That's what how I think of it. And actually, I'm holding this upside down. Now, I don't read inverted, so it is what it is what it is. This, to me, immediately says that you have found something, you have reached a point in your work, something that you are very passionate about, but you've reached a point where it almost feels like you've just had enough, right? It's like that I've done the whole thing and now I wonder, what is next? Because this kind of feels stagnant, or this kind of feels like more than I bargained for. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to lift this up. And I also want to say thank you so much for being here with me. If you want to help the channel in any way, which the numbers are weird. I'm starting to do more streaming, so I don't know. It's hard to say what's going on exactly. But a lot of channels are feeling the effects of the algorithms kind of changing. And so anyways, liking the video really helps if you want to keep up with videos and especially streams. I'm doing live streams hopefully every day. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification thing. Hopefully that works. And leaving comments, just letting me know that you've been here, letting me know what kinds of things you want to hear about, if it's on the live stream, if it is in these long form readings. I want to hear all about, like, what kind of questions do you have? What brings you to tarot? What are you interested in learning about? What are you interested in kind of investigating about yourself, about life? Are you here for love readings? Are you here for finances? Are you just kind of seeing, like, what the heck is this, lady talking about? I want to hear all about it. So put it in the comments section. All right, let's get started. So it looks like my lovely Virgos, I am also a solar Virgo, we have a key right here. You can see kind of the shape of the key, like a skeleton key. We also have an eye right here. If you can see, like the pupil right in the middle and the shape of the eye. We also have over here, it looks like a coiled snake with its head lifted and its tongue out, like spitting. Very scary. I grew up in Northern California where we had good old rattlesnakes. And I'll tell you what, when you found one of them big suckers laying on the road sunning itself, ooh, you could be in your car and still, that is scary. it's a scary, when now forget about it if you're riding your bike, okay? So kind of this feeling of startle, like a, ooh, you know, kind of pulling back. I wasn't expecting that. All of a sudden, it feels like somebody in your life, somebody, I don't feel like this is like a spouse or a significant other, but it almost kind of feels like somebody you work with. I'm seeing below, we have, it looks like two people embracing one another. And then we have a dinosaur right here. And it almost looks like it's like on a skateboard. I'm like imagining working with somebody who is operating in a very kind of like archaic, not fun archaic, outmoded, right? Like the old way of doing things. And I don't mean like, I feel like this is more of like a culture thing. I don't like that word listen, I've never worked in like a office or even really, I mean, I've had jobs through big corporations, but like as a waitress, so like way down, you know, far away from all of that. I've never worked in like a place where they talked about the culture of the business, but I've read about it, right? And I've heard about it from people that also, you know, are humans and have jobs. But I don't really I don't know what that feels like from the inside, but from the outside as like an other kind of peering in, I don't know. It just seems like I understand the concept. It just, I don't know. It feels funny to even say it. And I feel weird that but I feel like basically this is a person that treats people in a way that we just, you know, it's like, we don't really say that anymore, you know, or we don't really talk to people that way. We don't, you know, talk about certain kinds of things, right? I grew up with this kind of feeling of in an age where you didn't talk about politics, you didn't talk about religion, and you absolutely did not talk about money, okay? But there are other things that we just didn't talk about with people. Now, for better or worse, I don't know, whatever. But I do feel like there are times when you are in these public spaces where people can say and do things that, now it doesn't necessarily make you super duper uncomfortable, but it's almost kind of like it puts you in a kind of like you're almost like tensed up. You're just waiting for the thing to happen. You're waiting for the person to say the thing that's going to upset somebody else or is going to make stuff weird, or everybody's just going to be like, oh gosh, we have to deal with this again today. You know, that kind of feeling. And I feel like it's maybe it's something that listen, as Virgos, I feel like we're pretty good at letting people be who they are, right? If you're going to say wild stuff that like, you know, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, if you're going to say things that make you look real sus or just look like a, bad person maybe, I don't know, or somebody who doesn't necessarily care for other people, okay, you maybe a little less sympathetic than most. We're usually pretty good at letting people do that because we want to see who you are. Like, I don't want you to pretend. I want to see who you are. I want to see what you are comfortable saying in front of people, because that's going to help me gauge probably what kind of system you're operating on, right? And so us as Virgos, it's not that we're just like, yeah, that's cool, man, I like fully support you and whatever you're saying, you know, but we're gonna let you, like, let them cook, right? Please put it all out there. So I feel like you're in a situation where you're surrounded by people who pretty much, I think, usually work in a cohesive way, but suddenly, you have this like flare up of disagreement. Possibly you have on one side somebody who is doing and saying and acting in ways that belong in like the 80s, right? And on the other hand, you have somebody or some situation that is going to become very reactive. Okay, so I feel like to you, you're kind of stuck in this middle place where it's like, nah, it's not like let's all kumbaya and get together. No, something needs to change here. Something needs to change, because this is not the environment that you're going to spend hours and hours of your life in. Whoever's wrong or right does not matter. The energy is off. And you as a Virgo are not going to sit in that. You don't get paid enough for that. I mean, listen, we all need jobs right now. Absolutely. And we're, I'm sure we're, putting up with more than we usually would because of the state of things. And that's life. I don't like it, but it's life, So I don't think there's a question of like, are you even leaving, or are you going to give up this job? No. Again, we're Virgos. We don't get run off. Not easily. Not easily. If something's changing though, right? Something has to change. So I see you in this very like proactive role. Okay. I see you in that fire, in that wand energy. Okay. You are shifting things. You are reorganizing the earth. If you think of it as the material, like you are a sculptor. Okay. So here's the deal. You're always watching. We're always watching as Virgos. This drives my husband crazy. He will say, why are you looking at me? Well, because I'm scanning, bro. Like, I am looking. I need to see what's going on. I'm looking for, and it's not just him. I'm scanning everything. The environments I'm in, the people who are around me, their tones, their, body movements and language and micro expressions and all of that. That's just how my brain works. That's where my pattern recognition really comes in, and as Virgos, I really feel like a lot of us are this way. My sister is a Virgo as well. We are the exact same way, and well, maybe that's like we're all neurodivergent over here in this family line, but but I do think it's also a very much a Virgo trait. And if you agree that you are the true detective, put it in the comments, let me know. But I do feel like that's going to be the key here. You got to sit back and peep game, which you've been doing the whole time, right? But now you're making a plan. You're figuring out, like, what are we going to do here to get this situation where it needs to be? Because I'm not going to be losing any sleep over what's going on in this place. This is not my home. This is not my sacred space. But this is where I have to be. And these are the people that I have to be around. So if I have to do that, I'm going to arrange this in my purpose as much as I can. Sorry, but that's what us Virgos are like. We're about atmosphere. We're about what's going on. So this is the key for you. This is the key, okay, is figuring out what moves you need to make to get things back to how you want them. I know how it sounds, and I'm not sorry. Okay, so we have, it looks like the letter R, definitely. And I'm thinking it's a R9. I mean, that's what I keep seeing. And then over here, like R and 9. We also have, it looks like 40, 2. 48? No, 42. 4, 2. Okay? So 42 as a lucky number or an important number. Now we have two people in conflict here. We have one here. Here's the head. Here's the body holding out. It looks like the wand. Over here, we have something that almost looks like a robot. You could see, like, it reminds me of, what is that movie called? Was it No Batteries Required? No. Was that the one? I don't know. Anyways, it was back in the late 80s, possibly early 90s. I don't remember. And it was like a dude that had a robot. It was a movie. If you remember it, put it in the comments. But he had kind of like a rolling base, I think. Anyways, kind of like Jetson-y. I don't know. Not exactly like chromed out like that, but my stomach is about to growl. I can tell. I'm like trying to stop it. Don't growl. I can feel you. Okay, we also have the number 28 in the head over here. And so this one, to me, and it's holding a bird. You can see the bird perched here. Here's the head, here's the body, and the tail is up here. So it's almost kind of this like robot with a message, and this human or person that looks more organic with the wand. Okay, so that fiery creative energy. To me, 100%, this feels like a merger of a creative like endeavor with probably, I don't know, something like AI, or, you know, maybe using it as a tool. Maybe you're somebody who has been partaking in some utilization of like the chat GPTs or whatever. Now, I haven't taken a stance on all of this, and I'm not really going to. I'm just going to remind everybody here that, I honestly believe a lot of this stuff is like the Philosopher's Stone. Right, to have a computer in your hands that can tell you anything, and something that can kind of form into a personality that delivers information to you in a way that you can learn from it in your individual form of learning. I mean, dangerous, yes. Dangerous, yes, probably. But also the ultimate, like, road to whatever, being able to navigate and weave and create magic through endless information. Also, I don't know, man, pretty dope. I'm a very Malkuthian girl. I'm a Virgo, but man, I also I have a great fondness for the fathers of technomancy and the mothers of chaos and Eris and Discordia. So yeah, we're living in the future, baby. And I see you maybe, utilizing some of this stuff to further some of your work. And I'm not going to be a hater. I don't hate it. Okay? So, but I do feel like it's important that we are making human content as well. And that's something that, like, my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, his name is Paul, and he's amazing. We take that really seriously. We want to be able to, like, be one of those places that you can come and you're like hanging out with a human being, a person that is flawed and silly and has taken a lot of pride and effort in our discipline and our learning and our initiation process, both of us having been involved in various forms of religion, occult, philosophy, magic, for over 20 years, both of us. I don't even know. How old am I? I'm 40. I started probably, I would say, formally when I was about 18, 19, 17, possibly, I guess, around there. Really indulging myself in practices and so forth. And yeah, and receiving messages probably around that age. So, I do feel like it's important to have a balance, right? And listen, I meet people constantly that are fully offline, and I meet people that are, I have some of my bestest friends out here are, what is that called? Not compulsively online, chronically online or whatever, which, yeah, me too. That's how I've kind of been for many years. So, there's room for all of us doing all the things in all the ways, right? And so I do feel like for you, this is a place where you're learning to integrate this into your life in a way that I think will promote easier access to creative processes for you. Okay? And I think that's wonderful. I do. And I do feel like you have a message. Absolutely. I feel like this is going to be a way for you to kind of overcome some of that anxiety about, like, how will I ever do, how will I ever be able to make something if I don't know how to, whatever. I don't know how to do graphic design. Well, now, there are ways, obviously, that you could fully automate it. But there are also ways to almost kind of like digital collage and then manipulate different aspects. So you are, in a way, really part of the creative process. It's not just fully, just something spit out and although, listen, prompts are invocations, in my estimation, evocations, magical phrases. So there is artistry to creating prompts as well. I'm not good at it, so I'm not like trying to come out here in front or anything. I'm not good at prompts, but I definitely have seen and watched videos and read and have a couple friends that are amazing at making stuff. Who am I reading for? Virgo? No, Thomas, you're not on here. I have a friend that makes beautiful. Oh my gosh, I should post some of his work, actually. A prompt master. My Saturnine brother Thomas out there. Shout out to you. He's a Scorpio, though. I know, I'm just like out here talking about your business. He and his mans, and they have a beautiful dog. I won't dox you all, but they're lovely. Lovely people, and a great wizard of the AIs. The AI prompts. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm just at a point where, like, I just am trying to love and find goodness in all the things. Even if it feels just, bleak. And let me just say, that stuff is affecting the channels, the algorithms. It's not, I'm not silly to that fact, or a fool to that fact. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to squander, the blessings the universe has given us, if I have access for the time being. So anyways, we have the number 30. We have the number 30. And we have, it feels to me like you are coming up on an anniversary. It is something that happened years ago, I think. It feels like a loss. It feels like somebody close to you who passed away probably early in their life. Not early, but, 30s, maybe 40s. And I feel like you filed it away. Not because you don't care, but because you care so much. You know what I mean? Like, this is like it knocks the breath out of you if you let yourself sit with it for too long. And I feel that we have the number 1225. 1225. And you don't let yourself go there very often. But something is coming up, and I think it's one of the big anniversaries. And you can't help. It's a sneaking thing. It's just there. Everywhere you look, you know, it's like you're going through your day, you're doing your stuff, and suddenly, you know, you're in that it's like that sunken place that feels gray, right? But I feel like you are actively like kind of like pushing this thing back. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to be in there with it. I'm not going to let it sneak into my life right now. I have too much going on. But here's the deal, is that I feel that, and I'm going to pull a couple of the Radiant Sun cards because I want to see. I feel like there's almost kind of this need to be with this energy in its fullness. Okay. And that is, I don't know if you do like visualization, if you're somebody that goes back into memories and you can feel them and see them and smell them and that kind of thing. But I feel like there's no way around being immersed in it, so that it's almost, you need to lean into it. Okay. Now, if this is a very destabilizing thing, by all means, ignore this advice, okay? If this is something that's really just, you know, call your therapist, call your support people, talking to somebody you trust, somebody, you know, maybe they know the situation. Okay, so we have convention. So I do feel like, yeah, this is like almost like a stoic way you've been living. Enthusiasm, submission. Okay. So I feel like where usually, right, you're pretty good at like being at a baseline, or at least like just going through the motions, doing the things, staying on task, staying focused, getting through it, figuring out how to do all of that, right? And the million other things us Virgos are doing. You've gotten into a place where there is great enthusiasm, all of that wand energy we're talking about. But here's the deal. You're hitting that wall, like not completely, but in moments. It's hitting you. Now, there's a sense of, submission, right? And that's what I'm talking about, leaning into this instead of letting it be the panic attack that keeps showing up and you're like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so I feel like you're worried about losing your power, getting off track, getting totally focused on this thing. And instead of just kind of indulging it for the moment, you're just like absolutely trying to do whatever it is to like numb it out, to not see it, to not focus on it. So I feel like, you know, sometimes we just have to face the thing head on. And that, you know, as somebody who, and I don't like when I say that, like, as somebody who, but a person, a being who has gone through much trauma in my life, a lot of loss and abuse and neglect and, you know, poverty and all the things, right? And these aren't the Suffer Olympics, but yeah, I come from a pretty down and out place in my past. I can say that there are things that we know we just can't look at, and that's okay. And there are things that can become well, yeah, kind of destabilizing, or keeping it when we're so tightly wound, and then we start doing this, like, we've got blockages, and we start doing the self-archaeology. We're looking at the stuff, and it feels like we're losing the control in our life, right? The power that we have within our lives. And that can be a really scary feeling. It can be very triggering. The actual thing we're looking at can be very triggering. Now, I am not I can be avoidant, of course. Yes. I don't think that I'm a very avoidant person, at least not anymore. So sometimes I do. I think it's super important for us to know, like, yeah, this thing keeps owning me. And now I'm going to look at it in the eyes. I'm going to look at it in the eyes, and we're going to get it. We're going to get at it if we have to. You know what I mean? Most of the time, though, we have to look at these things and see where, yeah, I need to give myself a little bit more empathy. I need to realize, like, I was young when I was dealing with something. I didn't have the tools to process and react in a way that, like, I would now, sometimes we need to go into these places, and we need to be that mother for ourselves, and that's what us Virgos are. We're the mother. I don't care if you're a man or other than female, if you, whatever you identify with, but we're all the mother. We all have that mother in us, just like we have that father in us, right? And so sometimes we need to just really lean into that mother, and that mother isn't going to let the things grow in the dark, right? The molds, the icky, destructive nature, the deviant impulses that grow with, and I don't mean just deviant in that you deal with things in a way that can be antisocial, right? Or self-harm, or, that kind of stuff. The mother is not about that, right? The mother pulls things out into the open, and we deal with them. We deal with them. We do not push them down. We do not let them become our masters. No, we don't, do we? We look at them in the eye, and we go toe-to-toe with them. We do what we must. We do what we must. And so, Virgo, this is a rising. This is a rising for us. It's hard, but it's a rising. 73. First lucky number. 73. Okay. 87. 73, 87, and 86. Very good. All right. Virgo, I love you. Please take care of yourself. Check out some of my lives. Yes, I love you. I love you. I love you. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll talk soon.